r/AskReddit by Redmond Dts. What's the most ridiculous thing you heard a man refuse to do because it was too feminine or for girls? I'll go first. My mom told me she went on a date with a guy one time who refused to drink his drink with a straw because it was too feminine. I worked in a hospital setting, but in the corporate office. We didn't work with the patients, but we had to be trained on safety procedures and the different hospital codes. My boss, who was a nice guy otherwise, said he would refuse to give CPR to another man in an emergency or life or death scenario, and I thought it was completely ridiculous. Use conditioner in his hair. His really long, dry as F hair. That's hilarious, because why isn't it too feminine to have the long hair? Let his wife use a pink towel on his sons. My father-in-law. There was a young Marine at one of my husband's command picnics who snatched his 3-year-old son off the ground by his ear and hair and beat him while screaming about how no son of his was going to be a sissy or a faggot. The toddler's crime? He had plopped down on the blanket with his sister and some other little girls who were playing teddy bear tea party. Dad left in handcuffs with a bleeding face, and we never saw the wife or the kids on base again. I hope she was able to keep those kids far away from that freaking psycho. I think of that sweet little boy often, and hope that he is having a great life without his so-called father. My brother-in-law refused to buy feminine hygiene products for his wife. I never understood that. I always bought them for my wife. I mean, it's obvious they are not for me. Going with me on a male friend's boat. He said, why would I, as a man, go on another man's boat? What the F? As a man, I've only ever been on other men's boats. It's like thinking riding in another guy's car is gay. Dude, you're not sitting on each other's lap, chill. I worked with a guy who refused to pee sitting down. I asked him what about when he's taking a dump, and he said he stands to pee first then sits to shit. I said that's just crazy, and he said, chicks sit to pee. I said, chicks sit to shit too, why don't you shit standing up? And he just got angry. Eat kitty. Dude at work says he doesn't eat kitty because it's gay. Gay for a man to eat kitty. Stupid ass.
You kissed a girl! That is so gay!
Writing poetry in English class. Dude refused the assignment, said poetry was for girls. Some of the greatest poets of all time were men, what the F? My boss at a previous job didn't understand why none of his 3 children would speak to him. Then after a co-worker returned from paternity leave, he proudly proclaimed that he had never changed a diaper in his life because it was women's work, and I'm guessing that's where it started. Order fruity drinks. Enjoying fruit is considered feminine by some people. Why exactly? That's like saying enjoying meat is inherently masculine. Oh my god, where to start? My less than average yet highly narcissistic ex-husband had a huge list of these hang-ups. He wouldn't use a straw, he wouldn't use an umbrella, he wouldn't hold my purse when I went into the restroom. He said that I loved my cats because they were like females. His twisted logic for this? They are called felines, and mine had long hair, so it made them look like female cats. Divorcing him was my best move ever, for many reasons. Change a newborn girl's diaper. She had too many nooks and crannies. We are divorcing. Get a colonoscopy. He's dead now. Edited to say, he had multiple instances of cancer in the family and his son died of it. His daughter had a condition that caused multiple polyps and he still wouldn't go. Can't fix stubborn. I remember an old ad campaign for prostate checkups that said, don't die of embarrassment. In the mid-2000s, my middle-aged father was made fun of and called a metrosexual for using hand lotion before a formal business meeting with a group of salespeople. In recent years, he was diagnosed with skin cancer, and the nurses at his dermatologist's office praised him enthusiastically for his long-term dedication to using lotion. He apologized to them on behalf of, his words, the crusty frigwits they have to deal with on a daily basis, and said that he couldn't imagine having to do their jobs because so many men my age are disgusting and won't clean themselves because they think it's for women. He told this story again for Father's Day yesterday. I love my dad, he's great. Edit. For everyone who asked, my dad is now skin cancer free. And no, the lotion didn't cause the cancer. He is a lifelong surfer, still shredding at 67, who spent many hours in the ocean, and this sun exposure greatly increased his cancer risk. Almost all of his boomer surf buddies have had to have at least one cancerous spot removed, and one even had to get skin grafts. Unfortunately, it's super common in surfers belonging to that age group. Thank you for the karma. Not 100% the same, but I once worked with a guy who said watching heterosexual porn was gay because how are you getting hard watching another man get hard? Technically doesn't count, as they were able to courageously fight through their doubt, but it's still my favorite. Was at brunch for my partner's birthday, and there were two frat bro kind of guys at the table next to us. One of them said, I don't know man. I just feel like. My ears perked up, wondering what feeling or need he was struggling to accept and express. I just feel like I kind of want a mimosa. Fortunately, his friend was receptive. Screw it bro, let's do it. Let's get freaking mimosas. In that beautiful vulnerable moment, those two frat bros were able to shed the mantle of oppressive toxic masculinity and order the fizzy bubble alcohol orange juice they were so ashamed to crave. I work in a call center. One of my colleagues refuses to learn touch typing because it's girly. It's painful watching him type notes into his computer. My ex-husband was glad we were having a boy because he didn't want to have to learn how to play tennis. Because girls only play tennis. This doesn't exactly answer the question, but once in the middle of a rainstorm, I went out with a big black umbrella. I passed a guy who was soaked to the skin. He looked at me with genuine hate and said, "Fucking faggot." I didn't know how to process it. An umbrella is just a tool anyone can use, men, women, children. To get completely soaked rather than use one. I just don't know where that comes from. Edit. This happened to me in the USA, Rhode Island, and it happened once in a lifetime of otherwise unchallenged umbrella use. So it hasn't affected my long-term use in any way. I live in Texas, and I'm not kidding. My coworker once said it's okay for women to be Democrats or progressive because they are emotional, idealistic, and irrational. Men on the other hand, need to be the voice of logic and reason. Wear chapstick. Use an umbrella. I don't know about you dumbasses, but I paid $150 for this tie, and I don't care to have it ruined. Married men who refuse to do laundry because they're just too manly to wash their own clothes or take care of their own children. Drinking water. He said he doesn't need to drink water, men just tough it out. This was on a blazing hot summer day when there was plenty of water to go around. I'm sure he'll love toughing out those kidney stones. Some dudes think it's girly to eat an ice cream cone. That's fine, I'll have an extra one. Eat vegetables. I have a coworker who doesn't eat vegetables because those are for women. He looks exactly how you think he looks. Watch Golden Girls. Hottest guys in my dorm, freshman year, dressed like Dorothy, Sophia, Blanche and Rose for Halloween, and they had girls all over them. I was in line at Avis to rent a car, and the man in front of me was angry and being a bitch to the employee because the car they gave him was a chick car and he refused to drive it. The car was a Jetta, not a pink Fiat 500 or anything. Such a regular, common, inoffensive car that I never imagined anyone could assign a gender to it. Just ridiculous. I ended up with the Jetta he didn't want, and I quite like driving it. Dance. He literally said, "No, I don't dance. Only women and gays dance." Glad I'm gay, because screw all that. I will do the girliest shit you can think of. Masculinity, a power so great, it can only be undermined by the color pink, umbrellas and drinks, TV shows with any level of emotion, being in the same room as a same-sex attracted man. Anything really. Edit, didn't expect this to be so big. A huge thanks to everyone sharing their stories. You are making a very grumpy old man happy. The Lord of the Rings trilogy is my best argument. 10+ hours of men who have close bonds, share emotions, cry, and still kick ass. No possible that's gay BS. Just guys being amazing examples of being guys. That's all, folks. Thank you for watching. If you like videos like this one, why not like and subscribe for more? Have a nice evening. Tell your friends about me.